Folks, how y'all doing now? Staying shady out there? Welcome to Hartford afternoon. I'm just finally getting to hear some music. I stayed up too late last night playing it and getting to it now. But want to make sure and remind you all to, if you're drinking sodas or beers or whatever, make sure you get your cans and bottles in the recycling bin. There's kids running around with bare feet, and we don't want them to get hurt. And we also don't want this place to be a wreck, so respect the park. Please. I'm Bill Poss. I'll be your MC for the next couple hours. I'm going to be bringing on my good friend, Mr. Chicago Farmer. He's got a guest with him. I'll let him introduce him. But please give a nice warm welcome to Chicago Farmer.
Good to see y'all again. Gonna ease into the day with my buddy Dan Andrew right here on the fiddle. Someday, my baby, when I'm a man, and others have taught me the best that they can, they'll sell me a suit and cut off my hair and send me to work in tall buildings. So it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, goodbye to the flowers, and a goodbye to you. I'm off to the subway, I must not be late. I'm going to work in tall buildings. When I retire, my time is my own. I made all the payments, it's time to go home. I wonder what happened betwixt and between when I went to work in tall buildings. Yes, it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, goodbye to the flowers, and a goodbye to you. I'm off to the subway, I don't be any late. I'm going to work in tall buildings. Yeah, it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, goodbye to the flowers, and a goodbye to you. I'm off to the L train, I must not be late. I'm going to work in tall buildings. Dan Andrew on the fiddle, everybody. Thank you, brother. It's not Monday yet, though. We don't have to work for a while, friends. How's everybody feeling? I'm grateful to get to play this festival every year, and they let me come here and do my thing, which is a little bit different than everybody else. Maybe you've already heard a 12-minute environmental protest song this weekend. Maybe you haven't, I don't know. But I got drunk, lost my fishing license. You should have seen all the lights and the sirens. Well, the limit was 6, I caught 7. Now I don't know how I'll get into heaven. And who makes these rules that we all follow? Who owns the waters that we all swallow? Who owns the land? Who owns the crops? Tell me who owns these mountain tops? Who in the hell could be forgiven? Who on earth could get into heaven? And I got a ticket for a busted headlight. It was 11 a.m., sunny and bright. Limit's 55, I was doing 57. Now I don't know how I'll get into heaven. And who makes these rules that we all follow? Who owns the waters that we all swallow? Who owns the land? Who owns the crops? Tell me who owns these mountain tops? Who in the hell could be forgiven? Who on earth could get into heaven? And I got a noise violation past curfew. I was screaming out questions like I often do. I turned my guitar up way past 11. Now I don't know how I'll get into heaven. And who makes these rules that we all follow? Who owns the waters that we all swallow? Who owns the land? Who owns the crops? Tell me who owns these mountain tops? Who in the hell could be forgiven? Who on earth could get into heaven? Y'all still with me out there? Well, I sobered up, got back my fishing license. Now security around me's been tightened. Seems poor criminals are kept on a leash, while rich criminals are catch and release. And who makes these rules that we all follow? Who owns the waters that we all swallow? Who owns the land? Who owns the crops? Tell me what men own these mountain tops? Who in the hell could be forgiven? Who on earth could get into heaven? Who on earth? Thank you very much, everybody. I'd like to make an announcement that it's Chloe's 7th birthday today. Give her a round of applause. This is a song I've been working on for about 39 years. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear front row Chloe. Happy birthday to you. This is a song I haven't got to play at Hartford yet. I wrote it last year. Hopefully it'll become as popular as the birthday song someday. Everybody comfortable? Of course you are. It's John Hartford Memorial Festival. They're not all this good, let me tell you. I worked all week long so I could go down to the arena for the big country show. But when I stepped inside, I began to shed a tear when I saw a sign that read $13 beers. $13 beers, oh, $13 beers. I'd love to hear some songs and maybe drown away my fears. I am just a poor boy, my money disappears, and I just can't get drunk on $13 beers. Well, I made it to my seat. It was the third row from the back. I couldn't see a thing but a blurry cowboy hat. And the rednecks all behind me, they were screaming in my ear. They were getting drunk on $13 beers. $13 beers, oh, $13 beers. I'd love to hear some songs and maybe drown away my fears. I am just a poor boy now, I can't see or hear, and I still can't get drunk on $13 beers. So I left after a song, got the hell out of there fast. Saw a guy on the corner in a tie-dye, so I asked, is there any place around here where you could suggest? He said that Vince Herman's playing John Hartford Memorial Fest. Thank you, Vince. You can bring your own beer, you can bring your own beer. He'll sing you some songs and he'll drown away our fears. Larry Keel Experience. Those folks are music to my ears. We'll listen and we'll get drunk and bring our own beer. We'll dance in the sun and get drunk and bring our own beer. We'll sing along, we'll get drunk, Bean Blossom, cheers. Cheers, 'cause we're not drinking $13 beers. Hey, I'm Chicago Farmer, it's so good to see you here. Thank you. Happy Friday, everybody. My name's Cody. I'm from a small town in central Illinois. I dream come big folk singer. Moved to big city, Chicago. People started calling me Chicago Farmer. I write songs about small towns, big cities, and everywhere in between. This little ditty here about my hometown. Y'all want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Chloe, are you feeling it? She says, I don't know. Here we go. Let me tell you about a little town here in this world. It's got one police officer cop, yeah, for every boy and girl. Well, they better serve you during the day and overprotected night. We got 26 cops in Devon, Illinois, population 25. Got one for John the factory worker and one for my cousin Lou. They got one for my mom, the school teacher. For my dad, they got two. They got one for the town psychologist who sits and wonders why. We got 26 cops in Devon, Illinois, population 25. Been walking down a poverty line and the streets all gone to hell. The library could fall at any time, the hardware store already fell. Well, I wonder where all my money goes while the taxes so damn high. We got 26 cops in Devon, Illinois, population 25. Some things are gonna have to change till we all sing this song. This town can't hold the both of us, one must be moving on. Well, you know I love you with all my heart, but I can't take any more. If there's 26 cops in Devon, Illinois, population 24. Thank you very much. You're looking at the 2006 flat-picking guitar champion from Delavan, Illinois. There was only one contestant, and I put on the contest, but it's good to see people out there smiling. How's everybody feeling? It's so great to be here because sometimes when I travel around the country, people aren't so optimistic. They say the world's going crazy. Songs don't work. They can't make a difference. And they can't change the world. And when they tell me that, I smile. And then I get as far away from those people as humanly possible. And I get back to Bean Blossom, Indiana. And I happen to know firsthand, friends, that these songs do work. They can make a difference and they can change the world. And I know this because for 150 years, you could not drink alcohol on Sundays of my hometown of Delavan, Illinois. And I didn't think that was very cool, so I wrote a song about it. And the song goes, I get drunk 6 days a week, mama. And on Sundays, I get high. On Sundays, I get high because on Sundays, Delavan's dry. And it became a real popular song. And next thing you know, all the cover bands were covering my song, and everybody was passing it around. It even wound up on the local radio station and became a big hit. And now I'm here to tell y'all, John Hartford Memorial Festival, you can now drink alcohol on Sundays in my hometown. Don't tell me these songs don't work. And then that last song I wrote because my friends and I were getting pulled over like 5 or 6 times a week when we were in high school. And we deserved it. But we had cops on bicycles, we had cops on motorcycles, we had SUVs, we had a tank. We had a tank for a town of 24 people. We even had a helicopter. Cops were parachuting out of the helicopter to ask us questions. And I actually love cops. I'm related to half of them in town. But it was getting a little excessive, so I wrote that last song. And now, friends, there's only 22 cops in Delavan, Illinois. Now, friends in the front row, time for earmuffs, but over the years, I've written some songs about marijuana. Ooh. Everybody said marijuana was evil. There goes the kids singing the marijuana songs. Marijuana's evil. But it wasn't like that for me growing up. When I grew up, my parents had a head shop called the Freak Boutique in Pekin, Illinois. And they sold paraphernalia and water beds. The greatest 2 hot commodities of the late 70s. Marijuana and water beds put food on our table and clothes on our backs and a roof over our head. We loved marijuana in our family. And now, friends, I'm here to tell you happily that in my hometown of Delavan, Illinois, we now have a legit medicinal marijuana pot farm. Everybody. The 4 cops who got laid off, they're working there now. They love it. They've never been happier. And you're saying, my goodness, Chicago farmer, thank you for your contributions to the great neighboring state of Illinois. But really, how is your music changing the world? As we speak, friends, my hometown is building a brand new school. Pretty much the brokest state in the entire country, and we're building a brand new school. Guess how we're paying for it, everybody? With beer on Sundays, less cops in the pot farm, that's how we're paying for the school. And I'm not looking for any kind of attention or major award or anything like that. I mean, my friend Pokey Lafarge, he has his own beer. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, they have their own beer. Those guys are amazing, but Chicago Farmer doesn't have a beer. All I want is like something that tastes like Old Style or PBR or something like that. I'll be happy. As long as it doesn't cost $13. We're changing the world, and we're starting right here, friends. Thanks for listening. I'm from Population 24. I learned something today that I never knew. And I get around a lot, but I didn't know it took an hour and 17 minutes to get from Martinsville to Bean Blossom. Did anybody know that? Last time it was like a half hour. I don't know what happened. Well, I grew up in a small house. Yeah, I grew up in the fields. I grew up in the country, in the back hills, where you turn 10, you learn how to strive. When you turn 11, you learn how to drive. So mama, I'm riding those big wheels now. Mama, I'm riding those big wheels now. Yeah, mama, I'm riding those big wheels now. Had to run out of that small house somehow. So I moved down south, down to Tennessee, where every boy plays football, every boy but me. Every dog pile I was underneath. I found a couple friends, I lost a couple teeth. So mama, I'm running those big boys now. Mama, I'm running those big boys now. Yeah, mama, I'm running those big boys now. Had to run out of that small house somehow. So I learned how to play this strung-up box. I learned how to sing 'cause didn't like the way I talked. Put it all together, started writing songs. Through the country like a feather, people started singing along. So mama, I'm sitting in the big time now. Yeah, mama, I'm sitting in the big time now. Yeah, mama, I'm sitting in the big time now. Had to get out of that small time somehow. But all this driving could drive a man insane. Off of his rocker, go straight to his brain. I miss my family, I miss the fields, I miss the small town, I miss the way it feels. 'Cause mama, I'm sitting in a big house now. Yeah, mama, I'm sitting in a big house now. Well, mama, I'm sitting in a big house now. I've got to get back to that small house somehow. Yeah, mama, I'm sitting in a big house now. Yeah, mama, I'm sitting in a big house now, Tazewell County. Mama, I'm sitting in a big house now, now. Gotta get back to that small house somehow. Take me home. Thank y'all. I feel like I am absolutely killing it right now with the 8 and under crowd. Must be all these cops in jail songs. I don't know. Better teach them early, folks. This goes out to the anybody who's worked at a factory for longer than 4 days crowd. I'm headed to the job. I got a hangover headache from singing all night long. I'm pleading, please get me through. Ooh, you spend another morning with the Assembly Line Blues. My 15-minute break, it goes by in a wink. 15 minutes of work lasts for days, I do think. Another day, another dollar, paying my dues. You spend another night with the Assembly Line Blues. Yep. Take away your rights. Assemble in the morning, reassembling at night. They say, by the way, you're gonna work Sunday too. Ooh, you spend another week with Assembly Line Blues. Been sighing, been dying, been panting for the rest. While the boss man is smiling, he's got his feet on his desk. I wish for one day he could walk in my boots. He wouldn't last an hour with Assembly Line Blues. Nope. The clock is striking 7 and I don't have a care. I got my hand on my time card, my finger in the air. Tonight I'll I'll be singing on Hippy Hill for you. Ooh, forget about my life with the Assembly Line Blues. The Assembly Line Blues. The Assembly Line Blues. Hey! Cheers, everybody. I'm gonna play you a new one if that's all right. Well, I tuned this thing up. I'd like to tell you we got some CDs and all kinds of good stuff over here. And my wife has some beautiful guitar string jewelry. Oh, she sold out, so check it out online. It's called Twice Upon a String. We got about 6 pounds of strings from Vince Herman last night. He's been busy. So check it out online. People in the sun, how you feeling? You looking good? This is a new song for you. Hope y'all are feeling all right. He could always be found in the backyard. The bases he'd round until it grew too dark. When his time came, he didn't hesitate. They put him in the game, and he stepped up to the plate. He was thinking curveball, but he got instead 95 miles an hour right into his head. Stumbled down to first with a lump on his face, and on the very next pitch, he up and stole second base. With greatest speed, he wasn't born, but he had the dirtiest uniform. With greatest speed, he wasn't born, but he had the dirtiest uniform. The board was out of touch, kids were out of reach. She never gave up on her passion to teach. And even though the school was on the wrong side of the tracks, she'd cross over, she came and gave back. Even though she could have left, you know, she stuck around to get everyone else's feet back on the ground. And we would thrive, then we'd achieve. She's the first one to arrive and the last one to leave. From the wealthiest town, she wasn't born, but she had the dirtiest uniform. From the wealthiest town, she wasn't born, but she had the dirtiest uniform. Both of them folks were heroes to me, and I grew up with hopes of something to be. I'd watch him play, listen to her teach, and they sent me on my way to practice what they preach. I found my calling and I heard my thing. Now I spend my nights falling down trying to sing. But I'll get back up just like they taught. Try to build something with the tools that I've got. With the prettiest voice, I wasn't born, but I'll have the dirtiest uniform. With the prettiest voice, I wasn't born, but I'll have the dirtiest uniform. Names in the lights, get out of the van. Another Hartford festival, playing with my friends. We put in the miles, we're living the dream. It's all been worthwhile, the times we took one for the team. With the catchiest sound, we weren't born, but we'll have the dirtiest uniforms. With the catchiest sound, we weren't born, but we'll have the dirtiest uniform. With the catchiest band, I don't perform, but I have the dirtiest uniform. Thank you, everybody. Everybody heard a new song and ran into the bathroom, but should be back by now. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm hoping that sticks might not be the perfect fix, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm hoping that sticks might not be the perfect fix, but I'm working on it. Trying to be a better man. I'm doing everything I can. I never really had a plan. All I ever understand's working with these two hands. I'm trying harder to smile. I'm trying to bring it back in style. I just drove 1,000 miles and the bills they start to pile. It might take a little while. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm hoping that it sticks. Might not be the perfect fix, but I'm working on it. Trying to walk in other shoes. I try to listen to their views. When I see them on the news and the language that they use, well, I think they're all confused. I'm trying hard not to swear. I try to trade it in for prayer. But when there's trouble everywhere, it's too much to hardly bear. Doesn't anybody care? I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm hoping that it sticks. Might not be the perfect fix, but I'm working on it. How's everybody feeling this afternoon? Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't even played any of my good material yet. Hope you're having a good time. I come here with a confession, ladies and gentlemen. I am addicted to music festivals. I love them. I don't care if they're big or if they're small or if they're in between. I am addicted to music festivals. I go to meetings on Monday nights. Me and like 12 other hippies, we sit in a circle and we talk about it and try to let it all out. The first festival I ever went to was about 17 years ago. It was called Summer Camp Music Festival in Chillicothe, Illinois. After it got pulled over 3 times, we finally got there. And I wasn't even on the lineup. I just played outside my car and outside my tent, and I had the time of my life. But it seemed to me that the only people that were having more fun than my friends and I were the people on stage. So I started practicing this here guitar and writing some songs. And the next year I came back, and they asked me to play. For real. Except they didn't pay me, and they didn't put my name on the poster. And at the time, I really had to prove to people where I was on the weekends. So I said, can you please put me on the poster next year? And they said, work harder, practice, and come back next year, we'll put you on the poster. So I practiced like hell, and I went back the next year, and they even paid me, and they even put me on the stage, but they still didn't put me on the poster. And I still had to prove to people at the time where I was on weekends. So I went and confronted them. And they said, you are on the poster. You're in that spot down there where it says, and many, many more. I was like, that doesn't help my cause. So I went home and I started practicing writing songs, and I put out an album, and I kept on working on it, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been playing festivals all over the country, and I kept working on it and working on it. And then finally the next year they put me on the poster on the very bottom. And you might have needed a magnifying glass to see it, but I was on there. And I kept practicing and practicing, and now generally, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to a music festival in the Midwest, you can almost always find Chicago Farmer's name somewhere in the middle to the top region of the festival poster. Someday I'm just going to headline this whole thing. I mean, I am on the main stage right now. It's definitely the one of look at this stage. It's pretty main, don't you think? We're going to get there, ladies and gentlemen. We're not there yet, but as you may have heard, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm hoping that it sticks. Might not be the perfect fix, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're all hoping that it sticks. Might not be the perfect fix. We're all just working on it. I was down on the farm, you know, just tilling around. It's just me and Grandpa waiting on a familiar sound. Come 11:30, we'd both hear Grandma's voice saying it's time to eat, you'd better bring it in, boys. Well, the food's out on the table and I was ready to take my place. She pulled me aside once while Grandpa was washing his face. Said, you won't need this now, boy, oh, but someday you will. She said, keep this in your shoe. It was a $20 bill. Oh, now, Grandma, they don't make them like you anymore, except for them young soldiers we send off to war. Seems you're always righting the wrongs of somebody else. Seems you're always fighting for somebody other than yourself. All that you've done now, all that you still do, well, I'll keep you in my heart. You're 20 in my shoe. I was up there in Chicago, you know, just killing my time. Yeah, the show got over early, so I was just blowing my mind. This man came up to me and he tried to ruin all my fun. He pushed me to the ground and then he pulled out a gun. Said, if you've no money, boy, this'll be the end of you. I said, hold on a minute, I got a 20 in my shoe. He leaned in there real close and then he stared in disbelief. When I reached for that 20, you know I sized up that thief. He never saw it coming. Oh, I took that man's life. 'Cause next to Grandma's 20, I keep Grandpa's knife. So Grandma and Grandpa, they don't make them like you anymore, except for them young soldiers we send off to war. Seems you're always righting the wrongs of somebody else. Seems you're always fighting for somebody other than yourself. All that you've done now, all that you still do, well, I'll keep you in my heart, your knife and 20 in my shoe. One more time, everybody, Dan Andrew. My very, very good friend, one of my favorite musicians, Dan Andrew, and also one of my favorite musicians is up next. Edward David Anderson's up next. Make sure you don't go anywhere. I'm going to come out there and I might even dance. Probably not in the sunshine, but in the kids' area. Said we were born in a barn, the barn my grandpa built. And every night we come inside and lie under grandma's quilts. Been working these hands, working this land, it seems ever since birth. Hammering away in a factory or outside tilling the earth. My family works in a factory, my family works on the farm. We work in the farms and the factories, never work on a factory farm. My dad and first, my Papa Hirsch healed the soles of the working folks' shoes. To work day and night, to march, to fight, to stand up and stomp out the blues. Well, I take their spirit so people can hear it, and I put it into a song. in every part. It comes from the heart and has our name put on. My family works in a factory. My family works on the farm. Take pride in the farms and the factories. No pride on a factory farm. I'm 6 strings of plucking, 18 wheels of trucking. My cousin, he's making good time. Through blood, sweat, and tears, coffee and beers, I'm just trying to remember the lines. From cities and caverns, a small town tavern, a sister or mom and pop store. Blow a fuse or a wire, a shoulder, a tire, patch it up and haul back for more. My family works in a factory. My family works on a farm. We bleed in the farms and the factories. Bad blood on the factory farms. My wife and my mom are both teachers, hard work and research. My Uncle Dan's a preacher and Judy plays the organ in church. My grandfather served overseas, then farming became his life. Gives thanks on his 2 replacement knees. He retired at 85. My family works in a factory. My family works on the farm. Thank God for the farms and the factories. Thank the devil for the factory farms. My family works in a factory. My family works on the farm. Thank God for the farms and the factories. Thank the devil for the factory farm. Thank y'all very much. Stick around for Edward David Anderson. Happy birthday, Chloe.
Chicago Farmer, wow. Dan Andre, wow, fantastic. Great music.